The third time I found my mailbox destroyed, I knew someone was targeting me specifically. I'm Jared Roberts, 34, Administrative Assistant at Holloway Municipal Planning Department. I've lived in Fairway Corner for 2 years. The neighborhood sits in a quiet pocket of Holloway, New York, where property values stay steady and HOA violations get handled through proper channels. My mailbox wasn't just damaged, it was systematically demolished. The first incident happened on a Tuesday morning in March. I walked outside to find the entire post snapped at ground level. The metal box lay twisted in my driveway, mail scattered across the wet pavement. I assumed a snowplow clipped it during the late-season storm. I filed a report with the Holloway Police Department. Officer Nathan Williams took photos and a brief statement. Standard vandalism protocol. He suggested installing a security camera. 2 weeks later, it happened again. This time, the destruction looked deliberate. Someone had used a sledgehammer or similar tool. The concrete foundation showed fresh chip marks. The timing felt calculated overnight, between my last mail check at 6 p.m. and my morning departure at 7:30 a.m. I installed a Ring doorbell camera that weekend. The angle covered my front yard and mailbox area. I also upgraded to a heavy-duty steel post with a reinforced concrete base, following USPS Publication 632 specifications for mailbox installation. The third destruction occurred exactly 12 days later. The camera captured nothing. Somehow, between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m., someone had completely obliterated my new mailbox without triggering any motion alerts. The steel post was bent at a 45-degree angle. The concrete base had been jackhammered into chunks. I reviewed the footage frame by frame. Nothing. No movement, no lights, no vehicles. Just my intact mailbox at 11:47 p.m., then complete destruction visible at 5:03 a.m., when the motion sensor activated from a passing jogger. That's when I realized this wasn't random vandalism. Someone had disabled my security system. Someone who understood surveillance equipment. Someone who knew my schedule well enough to time these attacks perfectly. I started keeping detailed records. Incident reports, insurance claims, repair receipts, camera timestamps. I documented everything in a spreadsheet with dates, costs, and response times from various agencies. The pattern became clear after the fourth incident. Each destruction happened exactly 12 to 14 days apart, always on weeknights. Always during the same 6-hour window. The perpetrator was escalating. Each attack required more sophisticated tools and planning. More disturbing was the neighborhood response. 3 residents had filed complaints with the Fairway Corner HOA about my, quote, inability to maintain proper mailbox standards. According to Covenant Section 4.2.1, homeowners must ensure mailbox compliance within 72 hours of damage. I was being painted as the problem resident. The complaints came from addresses I'd never visited, neighbors I'd barely spoken to. Yet somehow they knew intimate details about each incident. Damage descriptions that matched police reports, timing that aligned with my insurance claims. Someone was feeding them information. I requested copies of all HOA correspondence through the Freedom of Information Act provisions in our neighborhood charter. The responses revealed a coordinated campaign spanning 3 months. Anonymous tips about my, quote, property maintenance issues. Detailed photographs of mailbox damage taken from multiple angles. Suggestions that I was staging incidents for insurance fraud. The documentation was too thorough. Too professional. Someone with access to official records was building a case against me. Someone who understood municipal procedures and HOA enforcement mechanisms. Someone who could manipulate both surveillance systems and neighborhood politics. I needed to identify my enemy before they succeeded in having me removed from Fairway Corner entirely. The answer was closer than I expected. The breakthrough came during my 5th insurance claim review. State Farm investigator Nathan Williams arrived with a metal detector and measuring tape, standard procedure for repeated vandalism cases. He spent 40 minutes documenting the latest destruction. My reinforced steel mailbox had been completely severed at the base with what appeared to be a reciprocating saw. "Mr. Roberts, I need to ask about your energy audit from last month," Nathan said, checking his tablet. "The timing coincides with when these incidents began." I pulled out my records. September 15th. Marcus Chen from Holloway Municipal Energy Services had spent 3 hours evaluating my property for the city's residential efficiency program. He'd measured everything: electrical panels, HVAC systems, insulation levels, even outdoor lighting placement, including my mailbox location and structural specifications. "He documented the mailbox?" Nathan asked. "Complete measurements. Said it was part of the exterior lighting assessment." I retrieved Marcus's official report from my filing cabinet. He photographed it from 6 different angles. Nathan compared the energy audit photos with his damage documentation. These images show construction details that would help someone plan targeted destruction. Mounting bolt specifications, concrete foundation depth, electrical conduit routing. The realization hit like cold water. Marcus had unlimited access to city records through his position. He could cross-reference my insurance claims with municipal databases. He knew my work schedule from the energy audit questionnaire. He had legitimate reasons to be in the neighborhood at odd hours. Emergency utility assessments, follow-up inspections, equipment monitoring. "I need to review his other audits in this area," I said. Nathan nodded. "I'll request his complete case files through official channels." This could be a pattern. I spent the weekend researching Marcus Chen's background. His LinkedIn profile showed 15 years with Holloway Municipal Energy Services, specializing in residential compliance and efficiency retrofits. His city employee directory listing included certifications in building assessment, electrical systems, and property valuation. Perfect credentials for someone planning systematic property damage. Monday morning, I filed a formal request with the Holloway City Clerk for all energy audit records in Fairway Corner from the past 6 months. Under New York Public Officers Law Section 87, municipal employees' work products are public information. The response arrived Wednesday. 43 residential audits completed in our neighborhood. Marcus Chen had conducted 38 of them personally. I cross-referenced the audit dates with HOA complaint records and police incident reports. The pattern was undeniable. Every property that received anonymous HOA violations had been audited by Marcus within 30 days. Every homeowner facing maintenance issues had detailed energy assessments in their city files. Every complaint included technical language that matched Marcus's official terminology. He was using his position to identify targets and manufacture evidence. The mailbox attacks were just the beginning. Marcus was systematically documenting every property vulnerability in Fairway Corner, building files that could support future harassment campaigns against any resident who crossed him. But why target me specifically? I reviewed our energy audit interaction more carefully. Marcus had asked detailed questions about my work schedule, travel patterns, and home security systems. Standard efficiency assessment protocols, according to his paperwork. But he'd also inquired about my HOA involvement and neighborhood relationships. Then I remembered our conversation about the Fairway Corner Board elections. I'd mentioned my intention to run for treasurer in the upcoming vote. The position included oversight of the HOA's annual energy efficiency contracts, a $60,000 budget that included Marcus's municipal services agreement. He was eliminating potential oversight before it could threaten his revenue stream. I needed proof of the connection between his audits and the subsequent harassment campaigns, something that would hold up in court and with the Municipal Ethics Board. Thursday evening, I installed a secondary camera system focused on the street approach to my mailbox. High-definition night vision with motion activation and cloud storage backup. If Marcus returned for another attack, I'd have evidence linking him directly to the destruction. The wait lasted exactly 11 days. At 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, my motion alerts activated. A figure in dark clothing approached my mailbox carrying a battery-powered angle grinder. The infrared footage captured clear facial features and distinctive work boots. the same steel-toed Timberlands Marcus had worn during his energy audit. He spent 12 minutes completely destroying my latest mailbox installation, a reinforced aluminum unit that had cost $400. The attack was methodical, professional, designed to create maximum damage while minimizing noise. But this time, I had him on video. The footage showed Marcus checking his phone multiple times during the destruction, coordinating with someone else. At 3:15 a.m., he photographed the damage from the same angles he'd used in his energy audit documentation. He was building evidence for another round of HOA complaints. I downloaded the video files and created backup copies on 3 separate drives. Then I called Nathan Williams at State Farm and Detective Bailey Cooper at the Municipal Zoning Appeals Board. The investigation was about to become official. Detective Bailey Cooper arrived at my house Thursday morning with a tablet and recording equipment. She reviewed the surveillance footage 3 times, taking notes on Marcus's movements and timing. "This constitutes criminal mischief in the 3rd degree," she said. "The pattern of repeated destruction elevates it to harassment. We'll need the HOA documentation to establish the broader scheme." I handed her my complete file. Energy audit reports, HOA violation notices, mailbox replacement receipts. The timeline I'd constructed showing Marcus's audit dates correlating with subsequent harassment campaigns. Cooper studied the documents for 20 minutes. Her expression grew increasingly serious as she connected the financial motivations. "He's been running this operation for at least 18 months, she concluded. "We'll need to interview other residents who received energy audits followed by HOA violations." Nathan Williams provided contact information for 7 homeowners who'd experienced similar patterns. Cooper scheduled interviews for the following week. Meanwhile, I filed a formal complaint with the New York State Department of Public Service regarding Marcus's municipal energy auditing license. The complaint included detailed documentation of his conflict of interest and evidence tampering. The response came within 5 business days. The department launched an immediate investigation into Marcus's certification and municipal contracts. Cooper's interviews revealed the scope of Marcus's operation. Samantha Williams from Oakwood Drive had received 14 HOA violations after her energy audit, all for previously compliant property features. Nathan Williams from Birch Street faced similar harassment after questioning Marcus's audit recommendations. The pattern was identical across all cases: energy audit, manufactured violations, escalating harassment. Residents either paid for unnecessary improvements or faced mounting fines. Marcus had generated over $40,000 in fraudulent energy efficiency work across Fairway Corner in the past 2 years. Cooper presented the evidence to the Holloway District Attorney's Office on a Wednesday afternoon. They authorized criminal charges within 48 hours. The arrest warrant was executed Friday morning at Marcus's municipal office. Criminal mischief in the 3rd degree, fraud in the 2nd degree, official misconduct. The charges carried potential jail time and automatic license revocation. But Marcus had one final card to play. His attorney filed a motion claiming the surveillance footage violated New York's privacy statutes. The camera angle captured portions of the public sidewalk, potentially recording other residents without consent. The motion threatened to exclude the video evidence that directly linked Marcus to the mailbox destruction. Cooper and I met with the prosecutor to address the privacy challenge. We needed additional evidence that didn't rely on the surveillance footage. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Samantha Williams had installed a Ring doorbell system 6 months earlier. Her footage captured Marcus conducting late-night property inspections on multiple occasions, photographing residents' homes and taking measurements without permission. The Ring footage was admissible because it only recorded Williams's own property. Combined with the municipal audit records and HOA documentation, it established Marcus's pattern of unauthorized surveillance and evidence manipulation. The prosecutor amended the charges to include criminal trespass and stalking in the 4th degree. Marcus's attorney negotiated a plea agreement rather than face trial. Guilty plea to criminal mischief and fraud charges, 18 months probation, full restitution to affected homeowners, permanent revocation of his municipal energy auditing license. The plea hearing took place on a Tuesday morning in Holloway Municipal Court. Marcus stood before Judge Patricia Chen and admitted to orchestrating the harassment campaign for financial gain. The defendant exploited his position of trust to defraud residents and manipulate municipal processes, Judge Chen stated during sentencing. This behavior undermines public confidence in legitimate municipal services. The restitution order required Marcus to pay $12,000 to affected homeowners. My portion covered 4 destroyed mailboxes, security system costs, and legal fees. But the financial recovery was secondary to the systemic changes his conviction triggered. The Holloway Municipal Council voted to terminate Marcus's energy auditing contract and implement new oversight procedures for municipal service providers. All future energy audits would require independent verification and resident notification protocols. The Fairway Corner HOA board faced pressure to reform their violation procedures. Samantha Williams and I attended the next board meeting with detailed proposals for due process protections and conflict of interest policies. Board President Jennifer Martinez initially resisted the changes, claiming they would complicate routine enforcement. But the threat of additional legal action from affected residents forced a unanimous vote approving new violation procedures. The new policies required photographic evidence, resident notification, and appeal processes for all violations. Board members with financial interests in recommended contractors had to recuse themselves from related decisions. I won the treasurer election by a landslide vote. My first action was implementing quarterly audits of all HOA service contracts and vendor relationships. The investigation revealed 2 additional contractors with questionable billing practices and undisclosed relationships with board members. We terminated their contracts and recovered $8,000 in overcharges. Marcus's conviction made local news and prompted investigations in neighboring municipalities. 3 other energy auditors lost their licenses for similar schemes targeting HOA communities. The ripple effects extended beyond Fairway Corner. The New York State Department of Public Service issued new guidelines requiring municipal energy auditors to disclose all financial relationships and potential conflicts of interest. My mailbox remained untouched for 6 consecutive months. 12 months later, I stood in my driveway installing a new smart mailbox with reinforced steel construction and integrated security cameras. The irony wasn't lost on me. My administrative assistant position at Holloway Municipal Planning had evolved into a specialized role focusing on residential property compliance. The department created the position after Marcus's conviction exposed gaps in municipal oversight of service providers. I help new homeowners understand their property rights and HOA limitations, which made the betrayal even worse. The knowledge I'd gained investigating Marcus's scheme proved invaluable in my new role. I could spot questionable contractor relationships and billing irregularities that other staff members missed. 3 families contacted me directly after purchasing homes in Fairway Corner. Each received comprehensive briefings on HOA procedures, property line documentation, and red flags indicating potential fraud. The Fairway Corner community had transformed significantly. Property values increased by 12% as word spread about our reformed HOA governance and transparent financial practices. Samantha Williams won election as HOA president, defeating Jennifer Martinez by a 2-to-1 margin. Her first initiative established a resident advisory committee with rotating membership and mandatory conflict of interest disclosures. The quarterly financial audits I implemented as treasurer uncovered no irregularities. Vendor contracts included performance metrics and resident satisfaction surveys. Board meetings featured public comment periods and detailed financial reporting. Marcus served 8 months in county jail and paid full restitution to affected residents. His energy auditing license remained permanently revoked. The state database listed his conviction as a warning to future employers. Detective Bailey Cooper received a commendation for her investigation work. The Municipal Zoning Appeals Board adopted her documentation procedures as standard protocol for fraud cases involving municipal contractors. My security system recorded 0 mailbox incidents since Marcus's arrest. The cameras captured delivery trucks, neighborhood cats, and seasonal weather patterns. Nothing suspicious. The smart mailbox featured tamper alerts, delivery notifications, and cloud storage backup. Overkill for most neighborhoods, but necessary peace of mind for mine. Evening walks through Fairway Corner revealed a community that had learned from its experience. Residents asked informed questions about HOA decisions and attended board meetings regularly. New construction projects required multiple contractor bids and resident input sessions. The days of single-source recommendations and undisclosed financial relationships had ended permanently. I kept Marcus's violation notices in a filing cabinet as reminders of how easily trust could be weaponized against unsuspecting homeowners. The documents served as training materials for new residents and municipal staff. The mailbox installation took 30 minutes. No permits required, no HOA approval needed, no mysterious violations appearing afterward. I tested the security features and reviewed the monitoring app settings. Everything functioned perfectly. The sun set behind the oak trees lining Fairway Corner Drive. Children played in front yards while parents chatted on sidewalks. Normal suburban evening sounds replaced the tension that had defined the previous year. It was finally over, and the silence felt earned.